Hello and welcome. I am a hotel AI expert with extensive experience in modern hospitality operations and performance support. I am pleased to welcome all students of Europe Hotel School to your online learning journey. We look forward to supporting your professional growth in the hospitality industry. Today, we are focusing on an absolutely vital competency for modern hotel leaders: inclusive motivation. We're going to move through 6 key modules together. We'll start with the Cultural Diversity Challenge, cover the foundations of inclusive motivation, equity and communication skills, then look at tailored recognition, and finally wrap up with the real-world impact of inclusion. Let's dive right in. Starting with Module 1, the Cultural Diversity Challenge. If you step onto the floor of any typical modern resort today, what do you see? You see an incredibly varied team. We're talking about a mix of different nationalities, ethnic backgrounds, languages, belief systems, and social norms, and they're all operating side by side on the exact same shift. It really is a stunning blend of humanity, all working together to deliver a premium guest experience. Now, what's truly fascinating about this level of diversity is that it's a bit of a double-edged sword. On one hand, having a global team massively enriches your service delivery. You learn so much as an organization. But on the flip side, it presents some pretty complex operational challenges for leaders. The biggest hurdle? Employee motivation. Think about it. How do you motivate a team when everybody's baseline for what drives them is completely different? That brings us perfectly to our second module, Foundations of Inclusive Motivation. So what is the solution to this challenge? It's inclusive motivation. This basically means using practices that recognize our cultural differences while still creating a shared sense of belonging and purpose. If you try to force a single, rigid motivational approach on all your employees, it's a massive operational risk. You're inevitably going to alienate or disengage parts of your workforce. It really requires genuine cultural awareness. Here's a great example of why a one-size-fits-all approach completely fails. Look at how differently people interpret success. In some cultures, collective success and maintaining group harmony are the ultimate motivators. An employee from that background thrives when the whole team wins. But on the other hand, different cultures place a much heavier emphasis on individual achievement and personal recognition. You have to know exactly who is on your team to lead them effectively. And let me tell you, this is absolutely make or break on the front line. Whether your team is at the concierge desk, a fine dining restaurant, or managing a conference, they are constantly interacting with diverse peers and global guests. This kind of high-visibility environment demands cultural sensitivity, emotional intelligence, and respect. When your frontline staff feel that you, as their leader, genuinely acknowledge their cultural identity, their engagement levels naturally just soar. Let's move on to Module 3, Equity and Fair Treatment. This is the fundamental baseline. Without fairness, all your other motivational strategies are just going to fall flat. Operationally, equity comes down to the daily grind: scheduling, task allocation, and development. Are you balancing the shifts fairly? Are you distributing those heavier, less desirable duties evenly? Does everyone have equal access to training opportunities? These everyday practices are exactly how you prove to your team that they are valued equally. It's not about what you say in meetings, it's about how you manage the actual roster. Because here's the reality. Perceived discrimination or favoritism, even if it's completely accidental, will erode trust instantly. It destroys motivation. As a leader in premium hospitality, you have to be acutely aware of your unconscious biases and actively work to keep them in check. Seriously, a single unbalanced schedule can undo months of hard-earned team building. Moving right along to Module 4, Cross-Cultural Communication Skills. This is a core leadership competency we heavily emphasize here at Europe Hotel School. Language barriers can really shake an employee's confidence on the floor. To show inclusivity, you need to follow 3 very practical steps. 1, communicate clearly. 2, avoid unnecessary hospitality jargon or local slang. That's just going to confuse non-native speakers. And 3, always check for understanding. Don't just assume your message landed perfectly. Take a second to verify it. And to make sure your communication actually turns into clear execution, use the tools you have available: visual aids in the kitchen, practical hands-on demonstrations at the front desk, peer support systems. These are incredibly effective. They bridge the gap when language alone just isn't quite cutting it, making sure everyone is on the exact same page. All right, let's jump into Module 5, Tailoring Recognition and Training. This is all about adapting your approach. It's so important to realize that praise is deeply subjective. Publicly praising an employee during a pre-shift briefing might totally hype up one person, but for someone else,
maybe from a culture that prioritizes group harmony, that same public praise could deeply embarrass them. You have to understand those individual preferences so your recognition feels genuine and perfectly personalized.
That same personalization applies to training too. Inclusive development means giving everyone equal access to learning, but also accommodating different learning styles. One brilliant strategy you can use is setting up cross-cultural mentoring pairings. When you pair employees from different backgrounds together, you're not just developing their technical skills, you are fostering profound mutual understanding and shared motivation across your property. It's a real game changer. And that brings us to our final module, the impact of inclusion.
I want you to consider this principle carefully. An inclusive motivational culture does not dilute standards or expectations. Instead, it creates a supportive environment. This is absolutely crucial to understand. Practicing inclusive motivation actually maintains your premium hospitality standards. It never compromises them. It empowers your diverse team to step up and confidently deliver a true five-star experience.
When you genuinely embrace cultural diversity, rather than just tolerating it, the rewards are massive. You're going to see higher employee engagement, way more team creativity when solving guest issues, and ultimately, a significantly elevated level of service quality. That right there is the true competitive advantage of an inclusively motivated workforce. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought to really reflect on. How will your unconscious biases shape your leadership? And more importantly, how are you going to actively apply inclusive motivation on the front line today? Challenge yourselves with this as you move forward. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to supporting your continued journey in mastering hospitality excellence.